Thanks for tuning in to see what's happening in and around Grace Church today. I just want to say we are so grateful for you, and we are so grateful for what God is doing through you. Here at Grace, in the last year and a half, we've seen about 100 new people start coming through the doors, start engaging with the church, worshiping in this place, and becoming part of the church, and we celebrate that. We celebrate what God is doing and how He is moving. And we might not feel the full effect of that because we had a church of about 50 people who came out of us, Delta Church. And so we only feel that growth of about 50, but we had 50 leave, and now we're averaging 50 more per week than we were at that time. And so we celebrate that God has given us this ability to interact, engage with others in the community that we can worship alongside. And one of the pieces that we really want to celebrate is it's not just transfer growth. It's not people just coming from other churches. We're not trying to steal people. We celebrate what God is doing in other churches in the community, and we thank the Lord for that. But what we want to recognize is that we are seeing people come to Christ. I have 3 people in my mind right now who have come to Christ just in the last several months. And each of them, I've heard their story. I've sat down with them and I've listened to how God grabbed hold of their heart and pulled them towards themselves. And one of the common phrases we're hearing right now is, I'm not sure why I'm here, but there's something that's just pulling me in. There's something that's drawing me. And so we're trying to speak that language to meet them where they're at. But it really is a neat thing. Just last night, I got to sit with someone for about an hour and a half, just talking about the ways that God has reached this person, revealed clearly to them who He is, what He wants to do in their life, and through a longtime friend who has been a champion for Jesus all through their life, has encouraged them and pointed them towards the Lord, no longer lives in the area, but said, you need to get connected to a church. And they did. Came in, wanted to engage, has been here for 2 services, and now is really excited about the church, about what they see the Lord doing here, and about how they believe they can fit in here. So we celebrate what God is doing, and we want to continue to build on what God is doing. Just this last week, if you weren't here, we handed out what was called Bless cards. And these cards are helpful tools for us in how we think about outreach in our communities, about how do I engage people for the sake of Christ who I know. And so we have these cards. If you didn't get one, you can pick one up this week. But they're called Bless cards. And Bless stands, it's an acronym for this: begin with prayer. Identify people by name, put their name on the back of the card, and then pray for them every day. Pray that God would reach them. Pray that God would give you the strength and courage to talk to them. Pray that you would be able to bless them in ways that are impactful and meaningful. And as you spend time with them, listen to them. Get to know them. Don't inject who you are. Don't correct what you perceive is off. Listen to their story. Ask them questions from their perspective, what they think about and how would they approach and why they did it that way. That's interesting. I would like to hear more about that. Ask questions to make sure they know that you understand who they are and why they are functioning the way that they are and what they believe. And then spend time to go and eat with them. Something happens in our relationships when we have nowhere else to go, nothing else to do, but to sit and eat with one another. Be purposeful about spending time with them, and then aim to serve them. Find ways that they have emotional needs, physical needs, whatever the case may be. Aim to meet their needs. Come alongside them and encourage them along the way. Let them know that you want to be an asset to them, however you can. And then finally, share. As the Lord leads, as He gives you courage, as He prepares your heart, share your testimony. Let them know what the Lord has done in and through your life, how He has loved you and brought you from where you were to where you are, and how His love is not just for you, but it's for them also. That He wants to be in a loving relationship with them, where He removes the guilt and the weight of sin, where He lets the stress that they are carrying be taken off, and He takes it for them so that they can walk in freedom and have hope for the future. You can invite them to a small group, a life group. You could invite them to men's breakfast, or you could invite them to church. There's so many ways for you to help them to slowly connect as is most appropriate for them. And so we want to encourage you to go and be the church. Own your faith. Be the church. Let's live on mission together. Finally, I just want to close with, could we be praying as a church for those who have lost their homes in California? I read just this morning that there's about $150 billion worth of damage in lost homes and buildings and other resources. And so we just want to be in prayer that the Church of Christ would rise up and that they would be able to meaningfully meet the needs of those people. Yes, there are physical needs, but we want to pray that there would be a spiritual awareness of a need for Christ and that God would have his way with all of these people. For those who already believe, that they would engage even with loss, that they would be ready to minister. And for those who don't know Christ, that they would be ready to receive it, that they would be ready to enter into all that God has for them. Let's go and be the church together. Let's be on mission in prayer and in how we reach the people around us.